You stand behind the cordon at 3 in the morning, in a white helmet you once think belonged to another firefighter, with a calmer voice and fewer opinions. A row of houses burns across the roofline. Crews wait for your order, police want answers, neighbours film from dressing gowns, and the press hovers nearby with that special look people wear when the danger is somebody else's problem. You make one decision, then another, and each one costs something. Time, trust, money, sleep, or luck. This is the rank you once picture as winning. It turns out to feel more like being handed the steering wheel halfway through the crash. And the ugliest truth lands all at once. Every step up the fire service ladder pays more, matters more, and pulls you further away from the fire itself. You do not start here. You started a few years before, because your old life began to feel faintly offensive. The pay kept you alive. Barely. You struggled to even feel remotely proud of yourself. You struggled even more to fit into a normal job. Because deep down, you've always felt like you were destined for something far grander than yourself. That never-ending feeling like you are meant for something more. You want purpose, pressure, respect, a uniform, a pension, and a reason to be tired that does not involve email chains. So you apply to the fire service. The first level is recruit firefighter. This is not the heroic phase. This is the prove you are not a liability with a pulse phase. You run, climb, drag, crawl, lift, revise procedures, learn breathing apparatus, study fire behaviour, throw ladders, handle hose, operate pumps, and discover that the fire service runs less on cinematic bravery than on repetition so stubborn it practically counts as religion. The public picture you sprinting through, infernos on day one. The instructors would settle for you, carrying kit, without looking like a man losing an argument with gravity. This level teaches you the first hidden rule of the whole career. Trust arrives before status. Nobody cares whether you want the job badly. They care whether you can do simple things correctly while tired, watched, and slightly rattled. Courage does not feel dramatic. It feels procedural. It feels like remembering the next step while your lungs draft a letter of complaint. You gain discipline, fitness, and the first shell of professional confidence. You give up fantasy, vanity, and the teenage belief that bravery is loud. In this line of work, loud usually means you're a probie, a term given to those in probation who haven't yet proved their competence. Then you step onto station for probation and learn that being operational is not the same thing as belonging. Your watch sizes you up instantly and then spends weeks pretending it has not, which is the fire service version of warmth. You check kit, clean appliances, learn local risks, sit through drills, help with station jobs, attend school visits, make tea under conditions that would shame a laboratory, and wait for the bells to go down in the middle of whatever ordinary life you have managed to fake for 10 minutes. Then the building changes shape in about 3 seconds. You attend your first real incidents and discover the fire service is really a profession built around human beings having terrible timing. House fires, false alarms, road collisions, lift rescues, smoke in properties, vulnerable people in distress, and the national tendency to leave chips alone with their thoughts. The pressure here is not, can you face danger, but can the crew trust you when danger arrives? You learn where everything sits, how everyone moves, when to speak, when to shut up, and how to take banter without acting as if you are the first person in Britain ever to be called useless with affection. You gain trust in tiny installments. You give up ego, normal sleep, and the luxury of thinking any job is beneath you. The hardest part of this rank is not fire. It is waiting for other firefighters to decide you belong. Then you become a competent firefighter, and for the first time, the uniform stops feeling rented. The common rank progression across English services moves from firefighter into crew manager, watch manager, station manager, and then broader leadership roles, though exact routes and titles vary by brigade. Your pay rises into the firefighter competent band in many services, and now you really do the work. Breathing apparatus, forced entry, ladders, hose, vehicle extrication, casualty care, and the odd miracle of sounding calm in rooms where calm has clearly left the premises. Promotion is not the issue yet. Competence is. You gain craft, respect, and the addictive pride of being useful when life goes wrong. You also lose something. Some incidents stay with you, and not always the glamorous ones. Sometimes it is just one smell, one toy on a landing, One apology from a stranger in a burnt kitchen, and suddenly your day off has company? This is also the point where the career quietly splits in two. One path says stay here, become excellent, enjoy the watch, do the real job. The other says promote, earn more, lead more, matter more. The awkward thing is both paths make sense. Competent firefighter is arguably the best job in the building, which is exactly why promotion starts to feel like betrayal, because the next step is not automatic. To go from firefighter to crew manager in services using a formal development route, you usually have to be substantive and competent in your current role, be up to date on required qualifications and refresher training, have no live capability or disciplinary issues, and have an annual review showing your line manager believes you have promotion potential. In other words, the service does not just ask whether you want the stripe, it asks whether other people are willing to risk being proved right about you. Then come the professional gates. In one recent English promotion policy, firefighter to crew manager applicants need relevant Institute of Fire Engineers Level 3 passes before they can apply, complete a pre-development phase, and show initial incident command competence before reaching the actual selection stage. So now your nights are not just shifts, they are revision, evidence gathering, command practice, and trying to look psychologically balanced while building a portfolio with the erotic energy of a tax appeal. You get through that, and the fourth level begins, crew manager. The stripe looks tiny, the consequences do not. Promotion processes at this level can include application shortlisting, leadership or management tasks, command assurance assessments, and interviews, covering ethics, leadership, situational judgment, and operational knowledge, which is a very elegant way of saying the service now wants proof that you can think, lead, and behave like an adult, even when everything around you is trying to become smoke. You still ride the appliance, still wear the kit, still get close enough to the incident to smell it. But now people look to you first. You brief, allocate tasks, correct mistakes, mentor probationers, and make the first sharp decisions when a job begins to grow teeth. This rank teaches you the second hidden rule of the career. Visibility is pressure. As a firefighter, you can disappear into the machine a bit. As a crew manager, your judgment leaves fingerprints. The skills now are calm communication, command presence, quick risk assessment, and sounding certain before certainty has fully arrived, which is basically British leadership in one sentence. You gain status, voice, and the first real sense that the service trusts you with more than your own hands. You give up anonymity. Your mistakes now have witnesses, and your good calls are treated with the sort of quiet acceptance normally reserved for electricity. Then comes watch manager, and now the job stops being mainly practical and becomes practical plus managerial, plus psychological, plus bureaucratic. Which is perfect if your dream is to fight fire while being haunted by spreadsheets. Climbing again means going back through the gate. The same style of development model can require you to be fully competent in rank, maintain command competence, hold higher Institute of Fire Engineers qualifications, complete more development work, and then pass selection exercises built around leadership, management judgment, interview performance, and operational assurance. Promotion does not reward seniority by itself. It rewards evidence, readiness, and the service's confidence that you can carry more than your own workload, which is only fair, really. If you cannot carry a folder without resenting it, the service is unlikely to trust you with a watch. At this level, you lead a watch or major function, manage training, standards, readiness, welfare, staffing gaps, appraisals, reports, equipment, and the permanent possibility that all of it gets interrupted by an incident serious enough to make the paperwork briefly look charming. This is where you stop only measuring yourself and start measuring everyone around you. You see who is progressing, who is drifting, who hides nerves behind jokes, and who gets far too angry about mugs because the mugs are clearly innocent. You gain influence, credibility, and reach. You lose simplicity. The fire is still dangerous, but now so is a tired crew, a missed standard, a poor handover, a welfare issue, or one bad call that looks small until it grows into next month's headache. This is the last point where the job still pretends to be simple. Then you aim for station manager, and by now promotion feels less like ambition and more like applying to become professionally interruptible forever. Formal development routes for watch to station manager can require higher Institute of Fire Engineers qualifications again, maintained command competence, more portfolio evidence, selection tasks, interview stages, and in some cases a presentation set in advance, so the panel can see whether you can think in public without melting. Successful applicants are often placed on a merit list and offered posts as suitable vacancies arise, then appointed at a development rate before earning competent pay only after completing the next development phases and being signed off in role. So even after winning, you are still on probation in smarter trousers. Promotion in the fire service has the charming habit of congratulating you and then immediately handing you homework. Station manager changes the job so sharply, it almost counts as a second profession. You oversee stations, staffing, budgets, performance, prevention work, community risk, training standards, sickness, discipline, inspections, and enough competing demands to make an octopus ask for clarification. You still attend significant incidents, but now you arrive to command and coordinate rather than graft in the dirt. This rank gives you reach, which is seductive. You can shape culture, protect crews, improve standards, and affect outcomes far beyond one appliance bay. But reach comes with distance. You do less with your hands and more with judgment. Less direct action, more indirect consequence. Less adrenaline, more ownership. You finish fewer days thinking, I solved that. You finish more days thinking, I prevented 3 future disasters and somehow still lost 20 minutes of my life to a printer. All the way through this climb, the service keeps reminding you that leadership is not just rank. The National Fire Chiefs Council career pathway materials push personal development planning, leadership development at every level, and behaviour standards under the core code of ethics, including integrity, dignity and respect, leadership, equality, and putting communities first. That sounds noble on paper, and sometimes it is. It also means every promotion asks a more awkward question than, are you clever enough? It asks whether you are the kind of person other people should have to live under at 3 a.m, which is much ruder and much more useful. Then you move into group-level leadership, and the opening scene stops being a teaser and becomes your life. You oversee multiple stations or a major service area. You deal with resilience, staffing models, risk planning, public scrutiny, policy, budgets, and the sort of meetings that make an actual fire feel refreshingly honest. By now you are so far from the version of the job you join for that civilians think you are a deluxe firefighter, when in reality you are part strategist, part public shield, part risk manager, and part professional absorber of blame. The dangerous tools now are not just ladders and hoses, they are assumptions, staffing levels, budgets, radio traffic, and one bad decision made under fluorescent light by somebody who slept 4 hours and still has to sound composed on local news. So now you are back behind that cordon at 3 a.m. Crews wait, police ask, residents stare, reporters hover, a roof gives way somewhere in the dark and everyone turns to you as if certainty is a service you personally provide. Seniority does not remove danger. It civilizes it and spreads it over a wider map. And that is the whole ladder in its honest form. Recruit Firefighter is about proving you are safe. Probation is about earning trust. Competent Firefighter is about becoming useful. Crew Manager is about becoming visible. Watch Manager is about carrying people as well as incidents. Station Manager is about running systems. Group Leadership is about owning consequence. Every promotion now feels more real because you know what sits behind it. Exams, line manager backing, development portfolios, command assessments, interviews, merit lists, development pay, competency sign-off, and the constant possibility of not getting through. Every level gives you more money, more authority, and less innocence. Every step solves one problem and introduces a better hidden one. You join because you want purpose. You stay because you find camaraderie, craft, identity, and the rare satisfaction of being useful on somebody else's worst day.